So, Sports Illustrated posted one bold prediction for every single team in the NFL. Let's get right into it. Starting off with the Buffalo Bills. The Bills will edge the Chiefs and Patriots for Tyreek Hill services and be in the conversation for Mike Evans. I'll be honest, you give Josh Allen, Mike Evans, and Tyreek Hill, I mean, it's going to hurt so bad when they lose to the Chiefs in the playoffs or the Bengals in the playoffs. That is going to be the most devastating loss of all time. You give them Tyreek Hill and Mike Evans, and they still lose in the playoffs. Is going to suck. But I don't know. We'll see. Miami Dolphins. Dolphins won't be able to move Tua, but he will move into a mandatory minicamp with Quinn Ewers in pole position to the Week 1 starter. So right now the speculation with Tua and the Dolphins is that they're going to go get Malik Willis, and Malik Willis is going to be the starter. That's the current expectation. We'll see, though. Okay, Patriots. Patriots will either sign Kyle Pitts or Isaiah Likely. Okay, these predictions are bold, but not really bold. Like, they're signing a tight end. Okay. I think that's pretty likely, you know. See what I did there? You see what I literally held your hand to the watering hole. I don't know why I said watering hole like that. But anyway, listen, it's like, you know, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him bet on the Bengals to win the Super Bowl in 2027. You know that like slogan people say? Yeah. Anyway, New York Jets. One of the Jets coordinators will step away before the season starts. Sounds rising. Ravens. The Ravens will be the team leaving the combine that everyone hears excited whispers about. Yeah, I agree with this because whenever the Ravens do anything, the NFL media is like, "Oh, baby, did you see what they did?" Yeah, they get glazed more than a freaking donut at Dunkin' Donuts. I was thinking about a better one, but that was the best one that came to mind. Todd Monken will be the viral coaching star of the offseason. So you tell me the Browns are going to win the offseason like how the Chicago Bears always win the offseason. But they don't win the regular season, they just win the offseason. That's how you do it. For the Bengals will draft a player in the defensive secondary with their first round pick. That makes about sense, you know. Duke Tobin, he finds ways to amaze me every single day. The Bengals want coaching staff to develop talent up front, and in the meantime, will aid the pass rush by bolstering their secondary with either Caleb Downs or Delane will wind up in the stripes. Caleb Downs, I'm 100,000% okay with. I have said since the beginning, if we did go corner, I would want to go Delane from LSU. I think he is by far the best cornerback in this draft, and I think by far he would be the best option for us. Problem is, Delane's an outside corner, so we don't need an outside corner. We need a slot corner. Now, you could say, well, for like depth purposes, rotation purposes, whatever, but realistically speaking, we need a slot corner. So Delane wouldn't work in that circumstance. Now, could you make an outside corner or slot corner? Absolutely. Usually, though, the skill set's a little bit different, right? You don't usually have the same skill set for an outside guy for a slot corner. Usually a slot corner, a little bit more physical on the inside, going against maybe a big tight end, right? Going against a wide receiver 3, going against someone who, you know, Mike Hilton-esque, okay? Mike Hilton is the exact example of a slot corner who can't be an outside corner, right? So, okay, I disagree. You know I already disagree with this. Caleb Downs 100% agree with, but when it comes to going with a corner, it's just not a team need right now. It's something where we need to get a slot corner sometime in this draft 100%, because I don't know if Fig Newton could be that guy. But it's not something I would take in the first round. I wouldn't even think about it in the first round. If there is no one available that we want at pick 10, you just trade back. Like, this is, I think, something the Bengals feel so scared of. And I think it's because they think if they trade back and they don't select a player at 10 that, you know, people are going to love, people are going to want, right, that they're going to get so much backlash. And then I'm realizing, as I say this out loud, what am I talking about? This Bengal front office, they don't give a crap what we say. I just don't think they want to trade back. I really don't. Like, they just have, like, the unrealistic expectations on certain players, and they just go with it. I almost forgot we were the Bengals here. You know, I'm like, you know, they really care about what the fans say. No, they don't. No, they don't. No, not even close do they care about what we think. If they did, they went and took Myles Murphy. Let's be honest. You know, they wouldn't taken half the guys that taken over the years if they care what we think. But I just think it's probably a best bet to just trade back. And I know it's crazy to say this, but trade back in this draft, right? Get more draft picks this year. But you could also get draft picks next year, right? And you might say, well, whoa, hold up, bro. We're trying to go all in this year, right? Well, all in my butt at this point, right, with how the front office works. But, yeah, I agree with that. But you could also trade next year's picks after this draft and maybe get some more pieces this year. You know, everyone's like, oh, well, people don't want draft picks from next year, right? They don't want draft picks next year. That's okay. You know when they're going to want draft picks for next year? After the draft. You know, in like May, June, July. Guess when they're going to want draft picks from next year's draft? May, June, July. So you get a couple extra draft picks in this draft by trading down. And again, you get draft picks this year and next year. Now what are you starting to realize? Well, the draft's over. People starting to want those draft picks for next year. Just saying. Anyway, Pittsburgh. The Steelers will call Texans about C.J. Stroud. You can have him. You can have C.J. Stroud. Please take C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud, I feel like C.J. Stroud duped me. C.J. Stroud's first year, when he took off his rookie season, I thought he was going to be the best quarterback of all time. I had him ranked my top 5. I was so ready for C.J. Stroud. I thought C.J. Stroud was going to be the next best quarterback ever. It didn't work out. So, I'm all out on C.J. Stroud. Anyone could take him. I don't care. Houston Texans. The Texans will sign 2 offensive linemen in free agency, giving the team some flexibility heading into the first round. That would be the most hilarious thing in human history. If they take 2 linemen, right, and then trade away C.J. Stroud. Because C.J. Stroud, the biggest knock on him that is not his control is the line. The line has always been crap for C.J. Stroud. Now, obviously, from someone who's a Bengals fan with Joe Burrow, I get it, and I understand. But at the same time, that's always been the biggest issue, is the line has been dog water for C.J. Stroud. So they finally improved the line and then proceed to trade away C.J. Stroud. Well, that's going to be hilarious. Colts will sign Trey Hendrickson. We'll see. Probably. Most likely. Or trade for him. The Jags will trade Brian Thomas Jr. They need to trade him. That guy. Well, only reason why we beat the Jags last year with Jake Browning was because Brian Thomas Jr. gave up in that game. So, I would trade him. Tennessee Titans, 2 of the top 5 edge rushers in free agency will end up in Nashville. Well, it's kind of funny because this option right here says sign Trey Hendrickson. And technically, Trey is, right here. Trey is technically considered a top 2 pass rusher in this free agency. So, if they were to do that, they would have to trade for Trey Hendrickson. Sean Payton would trade for both David Montgomery and A.J. Brown. Chiefs will not draft Jeremiah Love in the first round. Okay. The Raiders will be left at the altar for Tyler Linderbaum. I would get Tyler Linderbaum if I was the Raiders. I would, because you have a young quarterback and you need a good center. The Chargers will attack Joe Antonio in free agency with enthusiasm previously unknown to mankind. Are they going to kidnap him? What the fluff does that mean? Jim Harbaugh is not going to put Justin Herbert at risk again. He was forced last season. Antonio can spearhead the offensive line transition into Mike McDaniel's system. Okay, I mean, like, I get that, but the way you phrased that seemed like they're going to kidnap the guy. Cowboys, Jerry Jones will call his new defensive coordinator Charlie Parker at least 3 times in introduction press conference. Oh, I love how the Giants are a joke. I kind of love that. Tyler Lindenbaum will go to the Giants. That's not a prediction. Come on now. John Harbaugh's there, and John Harbaugh loves Tyler Lindenbaum. The Eagles will draft a quarterback in the 2nd round. Not surprising. The Commanders will sign Mike Evans in free agency. That's not surprising. Bears will move to Hamilton, Indiana. How is this a prediction? They've already confirmed they're going to do it. They've already confirmed that. The Lions will make Gibbs the highest paid running back in history. Okay. The Packers will try to spin the Matt LaFleur and Ben Johnson feud into situation with a series of cute combines and owner meetings. I don't think they have to spin anything. I think, based on what I've seen, like, Ben Johnson hates the Packers. He absolutely despises the Packers. I don't think there's any spinning that needs to be. There's no narrative that needs to be spun there. He just hates the Packers. Vikings will bring in Aaron Rodgers to compete with J.J. McCarthy. As much as I would love to see that, because the whole Brett Favre situation, I truly believe Rodgers is either with Pittsburgh next year or he's retired. I don't think there's going to be any spinning that needs to be done. Falcons will keep Kirk Cousins. Not surprising. Panthers will give Sir Per as much needed raise. Saints are going to trade Pete Warner to the Bears. The Bucks will not finish the offseason as one of the top 2 betting spots to win the NFC South. Okay. Cardinals are going to make their mascot look 30% angrier. How do you do that, bro? Just give him LSD. Oh, the Rams will trade for Spencer Rattler. Okay. 49ers are going to win free agency. That means nothing, by the way. That means absolutely. To say the team is going to win free agency is absolutely nothing. The Bears did it for like 7-8 years, and they couldn't do anything in the regular season. The Seahawks will be purchased by a AI robot named Pioneer One that has spent the previous 24 months stealing all of our bank information. Okay. We're screwed. That was an interesting one. You know, at first I thought we were going to take it seriously, and then I think everything just fell off the face of the earth. Guys, shout out to our members, as always, our beautiful people in this channel. If you'd like to go ahead and become a member, down below, join icon. You do get custom badges next to your name, added to all my descriptions, custom emotes, and all that kind of great stuff. So, oh, this was a good one.